Hello my friends and welcome back. It's Monday, the beginning of a fantastic new week for me and you, but maybe not so much for this Russian frontline operational headquarters, because this in Rylsk in Kursk region, this headquarters was hit with HIMARS. Supposedly two different launchers launched their package at the same time, and this, I know it was a motel before, I'll show it to you. This was destroyed, as you can see, burying a lot of Russian officers. I mean, who would be the kind of type of guys to be in operational headquarters close to the front? Well, of course, officers. It's a motel. It is the sign, this is not a letter in Russian, this is like a sign to say things softly. This one after the L. After Moika, it's a car wash, and this is the after photo. It's all gone, and this was the Russian operational headquarters in Rylsk. Ukrainians send their regards. We started with this positive news, but we continue with even more positive news, because Ukrainians are not stopping with the operational headquarters. No. They have found this Russian railway node, and they have struck it. And the outcome is beautiful, because we have a footage of burning munitions. Russians actually, you see these carts right here? Russians actually carry majority of their army's logistics, weapons, missiles, bombs on these carts, in these carts. And Ukraine has not attacked these carts for some reason. I don't know why. Nobody does. But now they did. What makes it more peculiar is because this node, very important railway node, is very close to the front line and to Ukraine's state border. I mean, look at it. It's about, 10 clicks, 20 clicks from the state border, Valuyki. It makes me to think, why have they not struck it before? I mean, they have once, and this is the second time. But why only 2 times, if this, we know by the statistics, is one of the most important Russian army railway logistics nodes close to the front line, and it is only now being hit for the second time? Well, the good news is that it was hit. The questions arise, why not more? We want more. But now I want to transport you to Far East Siberia. In Russia, 2 oil and gas towers got fire at the fields in the Yamala-Nenets autonomous district. The fire started to rage on May 10th. The fire burned all night, and eventually one of the towers collapsed. 3 people were injured. The thing is, in Russia, you don't even need Ukraine to hurt your oil and gas exports. Your own country does it for you. I mean, there's no Ukraine involved here. Still, oil and gas towers burn, as we can see. They do it to themselves. I mean, these jokes basically write themselves. I have a special segment in this video called 9th of May, because the 9th of May, the actual date, the victory day, I was making a video, but I made my research in the morning and most of the videos weren't coming out yet. Now I will make a compilation for you in this video. But before that, we have some more stuff to watch, but I'll just give you a sneak peek. And I bring this very specific video from Russian city Chita. In Russia's Chita, during the celebrations, locals wanted to see a mock-up air show, and this is what it looked like. They just tied some wires to a cardboard Russian plane, put a guy inside it, and just mocked an aerial battle with it. Why I chose this specific video? Well, because it comes from Chita. Why Chita is so important? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because Chita, this very same city, has some suburbs or areas which are completely burned to the ground now, as you can see from this footage. And no, it is not the Ukrainians, although Trump might say, damn Ukrainians, and Putin might say, damn Ukrainians. This is just a forest fire that spread too far and too out of control. But you know why I can connect forest fires in Russia to the war? They are very directly linked, because Putin has sent, first of all, police and firefighters and ambulance workers, everybody to war, to the front. If you don't have enough firefighters, the fires are gonna do more damage. So this spread of these fires, every spring it happens, by the way, in Russia, when there's less rain and more dry areas. This happens every spring, but it's worse with this war going on, because the firefighters are gone. Nobody to stop these fires. And you know how it's even more connected to the war? Well, because this here, my friends, is an ammunition site, ammunition storage facility, as you can see from the satellite photo. And these red and yellow dots here, this is the NASA firm's map, these are the fires. Just to make it more clear, let's look at the satellite photo. I mean, this yellow here, right, this is the ammunition storage site, and the fires are right around it, almost 3 sides, covering it from 3 sides almost. So there's a little bit more to go, but if they don't put these out, this ammunition storage site will burn to the ground, much like the Chita suburb we just saw. So it's not the Ukrainians, it is the weather itself. It's the dry season itself that does the work and destroys Russian ammunition storage sites. It's not even the Russian soldiers smoking carelessly. It's anybody smoking carelessly in Russia and a massive forest fire starts. I mean, leave it to the Russians to destroy their own country, man. And that's not it. They have to evacuate the totality of Chita's airport because the fires are approaching. As this guy speaks in the video, they still have planes and choppers on the ground, but the fires are already, look, they can already see they're hugging the airfield. They're so close. And choppers' landing pads are very close to it. They cannot extinguish. It's too big to extinguish. It has to burn out because there's not enough firefighters and fire trucks and nothing to put it out. Because that's Russia, that's how it is. And it all affects, because that airfield is necessary for the war effort also, but so are the ammunition stationed in the ammunition storage sites, surrounded by fires on 3 sides. Very much connected to war. This video, my friends, which you will see now, is a video of the single most luckiest Ukrainian soldier ever to be born. That Ukrainian guy is running, check it out, and a Russian FPV is chasing it. It's a fiber optic one. Look what happens. They make a connection, boom, boink, straight to the head, but the FPV does not explode, which sometimes, very rarely, but sometimes happens. And the guy gets up, changes direction, and starts to run to the other way. He's like, okay, I get boinked here by FPVs. I go to the other way. This must be the only guy to get headshotted with a fiber optic FPV which cannot be jammed. And you get a slight boink. You turn around and go back. He's like, okay, maybe another day. Slava Ukraini. This is the luckiest Ukrainian soldier. My friends, United States and Ukraine signed the mineral deal. And you can see it here. Zelensky says mineral deal with the US is truly equal. And here it is shown to me in Ground News, #1 news comparison site in the world. See, I found this article by going to For You tab in the Ground News and clicking Ukraine and Ukraine war. This way I only see these 2 topics. These are my interests. In Ground News, by taking the example of the mineral deal article, we can see that total news sources are 114. Leaning left of them is 11, leaning right of them is 19, and center is 20. And in the bias distribution tab, you can see it visualized with color, left 22%, center 40, and right 38%. Everything is visualized right here in front of your eyes. You can throw away the garbage and only follow what you really want to read. Talking about that, the garbage, there's factuality tab. Mixed factuality, I don't want to do that. High and very high factuality, that's what I want to read. You can control which news sites have which factuality, where are they leaning, who is the owner of that. For example, Euronews Media Conglomerate, European Broadcasting Union, because every owner has a different agenda. You can find out the ownership and the factuality at the same time in all of these articles. And by the way, the wording also changes depending on the agenda. For example, Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty is owned by government. United States Agency for Global Media, it is high factuality and it is in the center. And check out the wording. Ukraine hails minerals deal as helping strengthen US support for its security. That's a nice title. So if you want to keep the garbage, low factuality news out of your attention, sign up to Ground News. Go to ground.news/Artur to take back control on how you stay informed. Save 40% on the Ground News Unlimited Access Vantage plan and see all sides of every story and come to your own conclusions. Thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring today's video. My friends, kid you not, in this video you can see it also what Putin actually said this to reporters coming from his mouth. He's the guy taking the shots. He proposed direct negotiations between Russia and Ukraine. Now these happened in 2022. And for the first few months, Ukraine and Russia were actually negotiating. Their sides were negotiating how to end the war. And then the Bucha war crimes came to light and Ukraine was like, no, we don't talk to you anymore after what you did in Bucha. Putin now proposes publicly to continue these negotiations. Why is it strange? I mean, you might think in the West that, oh, this is good. But no, my friends, I have to translate a little bit since, maybe you are in the West, maybe you need a little bit translation. What Russian proposals actually mean. It's all Russian foreign playbook. They have been doing this for a century and more. Russians don't want negotiations and they don't want peace since they have a different culture. They have a culture of imperialism and foreign aggression. Every time there comes a goodwill gesture, a negotiation attempt, a proposal to start direct negotiations, it is to take time, to buy time, to gather up your strength and attack later. Because why would you need negotiations if you have a massively strong army and you can take anything by force, which Russians do? If they don't have that, they need negotiations. And this is why Putin comes out with that right now. What we should look into is it's a good sign for us because now we know that, Putin is seeing the weakness of the Russian army and does and take some steps to buy some time. It gives us an idea of how they're really doing. And just to hammer in this point even more, here's a thread. Putin sees a chance to restart negotiations similar to the Istanbul talks from early 2022. His goals isn't real peace. He wants to, number one, delay Western weapons shipments. Yes, we'll get to it, but it's connected because 4 guys from the West, the coalition of the willing, we talk in Britain, France, Germany and Poland, the leaders of these countries, they came out with some crazy talk that frightened Putin. Delay these weapons, right? Number 2, exploit fractures in Zelensky's leadership and influence. Number 3, exacerbate domestic instability in Ukraine. And number 4, expand Russian influence inside Ukraine. Yes, I do agree with all of it. Russia does everything with strength and force with its army. The only way they start doing things otherwise is if they cannot use strength and force in their army, if they cannot get results. And here we get Putin saying, hey, maybe a goodwill gesture, maybe we start talking again. You know they're doing bad. That's how you know. Putin gave this press conference about the ceasefire, but a little instance, I think maybe it's interesting for you. He was late for 90 minutes almost. Every reporter, everybody, the guy is standing right, everybody was waiting 90 minutes in this room for Putin to arrive. They were quite bored, as you can see, nothing to do. It's just strange to just keep reporters waiting like that. I don't really know if people do that, like presidents, but he did it. So yeah. Now I was mentioning these 4 countries that really frighten Putin. We have the boy band. Jake Bro put it best actually, look at that. We got a boy band. What is their debut album going to be called? We got Donald Tusk from Poland, Keir Starmer from UK, Volodymyr Zelensky, we got Emmanuel Macron, the little tasty burger. And we got Merz from Germany to lift up Germany again from the hole that the Scholz dug them in, and Merkel also. This is the coalition of the willing, and they got together in Kyiv in May the 12th. We have plenty of videos, footage, photos, everything about it. And they came out with a communication that we propose a 30-day ceasefire, non-conditional, of Ukraine and Russia. And it's supposed to start today and Monday. Ukraine accepted it. Putin didn't. Putin rejected it and said that maybe we should start direct negotiations. The thing is, here is major Western powers and Ukraine saying, let's just immediately do a ceasefire of 30 days. And Putin, if he really wants peace, he can do that. Okay, let's do it. On the current front line, Ukraine agreed. Ceasefire. But no, he wants to buy time. He doesn't really want a ceasefire. So he says, maybe let's start talking in Istanbul directly, and then you can talk and talk and talk like he did with Trump, buying another 6 months to yourself. So I'm here to say again, Putin does not want peace. He does not want ceasefire. He needs time to gather his strength to attack again. But he does not want peace. So yeah, these guys gathered in Kyiv and made some very good stuff there. This is truly a photo for the history books. It looks like they're just people, just 5 friends fighting terrorism, right? That's what they are. Because if you look at any of the videos that came out about this, I mean, they're homies. They're full-blown homies. They're like, hey, what up, Merz? Haven't seen you for a while. And it's so strange to see, you know, here is them arriving to Kyiv. Traffic inside and outside of Kyiv and Ukraine is all rail. You can use a car, but most leaders use train. This very train, right? I've traveled with this train multiple times. Everybody does if you go outside or inside of Kyiv. You use the train station to travel. It's so strange to see these legendary guys, Western democratic carriers, coming out of this train like it's nothing, like we did when we delivered the cars and we went inside this train to go back to the EU. So strange to see it. I'm so glad to see it also. That they're all just people who carry the same values as I do. I think as you do. So I want to go a little bit more into it. Specifically in this video, Merz, the German Chancellor, the new German Chancellor, this is by Biden. Zelensky's like, take care and we'll keep in touch. You can call me anytime. You just call, let's talk. Merz is here to take Germany out of the hole that Merkel and Scholz built. They really, I think what they did to Germany was horrible, horrendous. 2 things I can say what they did were massively wrong. Closure of the nuclear power plants and the immigration politics that is very dangerous for Germany. These 2 things which Scholz and Merkel did. Merz is a different guy. I mean, let me bring it out to you how different he is. Germany is back. This is what he said. With these words, Merz has made it clear he wants to lead a strong, sovereign and respected Germany. After 20 years of strategic decline, he offers the clearest path to reversing the damage of making Germany and Europe great again. Sound familiar, eh? Merz is not only the major German politician today who openly breaks with Angela Merkel's legacy. Angela Merkel's legacy, by the way, is reckless energy dependence to Russia, mass immigration, appeasement to Russia, and a passive Europe. Merz calls it what it is, a strategic disaster, and he wants to fix it. Unlike his rivals, Merz brings real experience. He spent decades in the private sector leading BlackRock Germany. He knows how capital moves, how companies work, and how Germany's industry needs to survive in the 21st century. This guy is... I love the fact that he was chosen as Chancellor. He will change Germany and Europe through that. Also, he has massive cards. If using Trump's words, he has massive cards to help Ukraine out because Germany has a lot they can give to Ukraine that really hurts Russia that Scholz did not have the balls to do. So yeah, everybody's looking to Merz now to actually take responsibility for Germany. Then we have Macron, Emmanuel Macron, who, you know, he has a massive ego and is a very he wants to show himself in different poses and stuff. So he made a full-blown vlog about it. And again, I want to point out that I've been in this train multiple times. It's so strange and so awesome to see world leaders traveling the same way. Nothing different about it. Nothing fancy. Just sitting in a train for 15 hours because that's what you got to do when you go from Warsaw to Kyiv with this train. So really big respect to all of these guys doing this. Not traveling with massive motorcades or anything. Just a plain train cart. This is what I believe. Lead by an example. Then we have British Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Again, he is in Kyiv now in the restaurant called Musafir. And Musafir is a Crimean Tatar restaurant. Crimean Tatar food. Very amazing food, amazing staff. I've been to this restaurant many times. Actually, every time I go to Kyiv, I've been there many times because it's everybody's favorite. And there's plenty of locations in Kyiv. And he is here right now. Again, so strange to see that and so awesome. And finally, I mean, although he wasn't part of the boy band, but I gotta bring out the new Pope, You know, new pope was elected. If you didn't know, old one died. We have a new pope. New pope Leo openly calls out Russia as the aggressor in Ukraine. No bullshit neutrality like Pope Francis. Yeah, I gotta say, if any world leader right now is pro-peace and pro-neutrality, you can see that they're eating up the Russian propaganda. How can you vouch for peace if... You know, citing Churchill, you cannot reason with a tiger if your head is in its mouth. What peace are we talking about if your head is in its mouth? So let's call a spade a spade. This new pope is doing that. Francis, I don't know, is bullshit neutrality. Screw that. We got a new pope and he knows what's up. Russia is the aggressor and we gotta fight against it if we like our way of life as it is. My friends, talking about people who share the same values as me and you, I gotta bring you Buy Me a Coffee monthly members, because if they, I mean, these guys wouldn't join up if they wouldn't believe in the same values, because I express my values on this channel all the time, through and throughout. And these are the people who recognize these values in themselves and decide to support. Of course, the best way to thank them is to butcher their names to oblivion. Steve, Austin, Carley, Smith. Props to both of you. Stephen Howard, Fox 307, Elim de Vir, Wolfe McGill. Thank you, all of you. Sorry for butchering your names, but not sorry. If you like my channel, buy me a coffee. Link is in the description below. Become a monthly member and I'll be butchering your name to oblivion. Alright, my friends. Now this segment I have been enjoying to put together. 9th of May, Den Babedi, Victory Day. This day gets every Russian horny all across the world. So we have plenty of videos coming out of Russia of how Russians celebrated it in different cities. And you are not ready for it, let me tell you that. Okay, let's go through them one by one. First of all, yeah, Moscow parade, you've seen it all, people marching, looks all good and stuff. But then they actually showed the buggies they go to war with in Ukraine. This is how massively mechanized infantry should not be moving. They're using these buggies, I mean, drones can just... You don't even need drones to take these out. These are Chinese buggies. Desert Cross 1000, whatever they call them. You can order that with $5,000 right now to your American home if you want to. These very same ones. I wouldn't be showing these. If I was a Russian army general, I'd be embarrassed to show these. But they're like, yeah, here are the buggies our troops die in. Very strange for me to watch this. By the way, have you missed this guy? Steven Seagal, is he still alive? He's still in Russia. He's still being Steven Seagal, being the best kung fu master in the world. This guy's so full of shit, but they offered him a seat, so he's a very proper guest to that parade. I think they match perfectly. By the way, Putin in this parade met with North Korean generals and he actually hugged them. Damn! But look how many medals and stars does the general have. I mean, that's gotta be quite heavy to wear. It's like armor almost. You get so many medals that no bullets can get to you because you are protected by your medals. That was a strange sight. I'm going through them one by one to save your time, but like every weird part about these parades all across Moscow, you will see right now. This was the show after the parade. A few hours, it was all over. You can see Russian flags just thrown in the dumpster. This is what the Russians do. We see these same images every time the parade happens. Even if you have massive amounts of these flags, I mean, putting them in the dumpster, I mean, they represent your country. You wouldn't put them in the dumpster, just take them home and get rid of them so nobody would see. But this is publicly showing how you see your country. It's garbage. That's what it is. Actually, there was one military attack in 9th of May. Ukraine did not attack Russia in 9th of May. Let me be clear on that. They didn't do it. They attacked massively before and now they're attacking again after. But 9th of May, they left them alone. Let them have their garbage parade. But there was one drone attacking the Belgorod government building. Look at that. Belgorod regional government, bada bing, bada boom. A single drone connects to the massive building. I don't know why. I would think it's a rogue military operation that they didn't get permission from the SBU or GUR. They just did it on themselves. Because if you really know what's up, then Ukrainian military has no interest to attack massively populated parades in Moscow. I mean, that would antagonize a lot of Russian people to even support Putin more. So they don't do that. But this one drone did it, so I guess some military unit decided to go rogue with this. In Poland, in 9th of May, an artist decided to make this beautiful figurine of Putin looking like a big schlong and install it on the Soviet soldiers' cemetery. I agree with everything he did. It's beautiful because Soviet soldiers, they were murderers and rapists. I'm not sure if I can say these words here, but this is the only true way to show your respect to the fallen Soviet troops, who were actually just occupiers, nothing more. Build a big schlong out of Putin and put it there. So now, let me introduce you to separate videos or separate parades going on 9th of May in all across Russia. This one here, it's somewhere in, you know, Russia has so many remote locations that they don't have these parades or nothing, so they make their own. You can see they just made it up with cars driving with Soviet and Russian flags and Stalin portraits, but they do drink, as the Russians. They drink vodka like it's water, and then they still drive, and this is what happens then. Look at that, look at this Lada here. Boom! Boom! 2 cars straight, one to the back, one to the front. You're so happy you can finally wave your red flag and Stalin portrait, but you got a little bit too much to drink, and now you give a little kiss to both of these cars. Yeah, okay, this is one instance. Now I want to bring to you to Ivangorod. This is right across the river from the most eastern city of Estonia, Narva. This is the Narva River. As you can see, this is the Narva castle with the European Union, Estonian and Ukrainian flag and a poster that says that Putin is a war criminal. This is filmed from Ivangorod over that river. So you can see, they have to look at our flags, Ukrainian flags, European Union flags, and they have to look how their president is a war criminal if they look towards Estonia. Because this is what we stand for. This is what we show them who want to look across the river. They better not come here. Now, let me take you to Norilsk, Russia. One of the most remote Russian towns out there ever. It's a massively depressive place. Here you can see some colors on the building, but usually it's just, if you imagine the most depressive Russian city, Google Norilsk depression or whatever, look at the photos, you immediately need antidepressants. Well, they did have their parade, but you can see how it goes. They have to march through water. I mean, you can cover it up at least. You knew it was there, and the rest of the parade goes around it. It's so stupid, I can't. But my friends, you thought you see weird parades? I bring you even weirder ones. Let me bring you Russian Veterans Parade, how it really is. I mean, this should be Moscow. This is a wheelchair parade. Real state of the Russian troops after the battles. They are true patriots right here. Look at that. They're actually doing their own parade. This is not a joke. They lost their limbs, arms and legs. They cannot ever walk normally again or have a normal life in Russia. In the West they could, but in Russia no way, because no infrastructure in Russia anywhere is wheelchair friendly. Like, it's Russia, they don't care. So you're gonna live like that for the rest of your life. And you're proud and you make a parade. And it was not the only one. Here's another one of, I can't. My God. Oh my, I can't. They're not people. They're zombies. All right, let's go back to civilization, which I mean Russian big cities which have a little bit of that. So you can see, for their great-grandfathers who died raping Berlin, right? They're making pole dance for them now. This is Victory Day pole dance edition. I think Russian grandfathers are really angry about this, or really happy, you know, because if you're 80 years old, it might be pretty nice to see this. I like to see this, but okay, let's, America. I will now translate what it is to you. Arlington Cemetery. The Marines are walking, giving their salutes and everything. You make pole dance there. Bring girls, put uniforms on them and let them make pole dance in the Arlington Cemetery. This is what this is. How would you react to it? This is what is going on in Russia. Hey, you thought you've seen it all? No, let me introduce you to trampoline soldiers. These guys, these women, you don't want to mess with them. 9th of May, trampoline parade. They even bring out the weapons. Check this out. Boom, they brought out the weapons. Damn, I wouldn't want to mess with these women. Yikes. Forget about the pole dance. Bring these trampolines to Arlington Cemetery and just jump your way to oblivion to give respect to the fallen troops. Now we go to Yakutia, Far East, and we got a Victory Day parade, but all of the military equipment is actually on the front and in Moscow, so they gotta make it up from cardboard. It's an official parade, you know, school children, everybody in uniform, as you can see, onlookers, and they actually show these cardboard tanks and everything going on the streets in the stadium here. And Russians are like, yeah, our army, the best. I mean, what the hell is this potato? I know what it is. I know these two wheels. It's Belarus tractor. Everybody who's living in the post-Soviet country knows Belarus tractors. They're always, right now, working in Estonia even. I know it's a Belarus, but it's trying to be something else here. They even have horses. My God, my God. Okay, I'm gonna be done with the parades. I promise you this is the last one. It's in Belarus. These guys they're just fan fiction guys, as you can see. They're not even real military. They're just guys who like to dress up and have some sexy time with each other. But then there's this goat. Goat is also trying to have sexy time with them, but the goat is done. He's trying to blink like, help me, get me out of here, trying to run, but this woman is not having it, trying to get the goat back to the sexy time parade. Okay, that's it, my friends. I promise it's over. It's over now. That was a lot. I spoke really fast also because I knew I got a lot of videos to show you. Now you have seen the most bizarre things coming out from Russia, 9th of May. Everything is covered. You've seen it all. You're welcome, my friends. It's a nasty, nasty day, and Russians go full, I cannot say the word, but you haven't seen Tropic Thunder, right? The movie where Robert Downey Jr. goes blackface and plays it wonderfully. Never go full retard. Well, they did. The Russians just went full retard on 9th of May, and you've seen it all. Thank you, my friends, for coming back. And if you want an extra video every Saturday, then you can do it. But you gotta become a member of the channel. It's only 99 cents per month. So it's nothing almost. It's $1, but you get 4 extra analysis videos. Next one, by the way, is about Agent Krasnov. Deep dive into Agent Krasnov. If you know, you know. Until my next video, my friends, which will be on Wednesday, be sure to be back. Slava Ukraini, and bye-bye. Thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring today's video.